Well, I gotta say, that was amazing. Look at that move on Microsoft right there. I gave it a small chance of doing that, but hey, boom, right there at the target. I mean, holy bananas. Holy bananas. Mm. And nice evening of them unpacking. They made it home from their trip, and I made enchilada casserole for dinner, basically for everybody. And my first time making that, so I don't know. I don't know if it was any good. Everybody seemed like everybody was placating me because it was my first time making it. Anyway, channel members: Craig, Hugh, Jerry, Will, Rob, Andrew, Donald, David, Frank, and Mary, Sledge, Simonborn, Arturo, Cliff, Diane, Kevin, Sledge, Ted. Oh, new member Alex. Welcome to the crew, my man. David, Mark, Sergio, Rongimer, and Dawn. Thanks everybody for being here and supporting me and my family. It's members like you that make this all possible. And if you've been cutting out lately, I've been adding an extra little segment to the end of these. If you missed it yesterday, I've been going through why I'm bullish on the ones I'm bullish on, why I'm doing the ones I'm doing the 50K challenge on. I've been adding those kind of a little bit of that to the end of each session. So if you've missed out on that, maybe you should either stick around or maybe circle back and check it out later in the day. So anyway, we gave this a low probability happening on Microsoft. Hey, sometimes it works out though. I didn't take it. I didn't take any risk on this. My gut was retrace back to the breakouts, but now be careful. This is danger zone for topping out. I mean, next target up without a pullback. Ridiculous levels, almost 700, which, I mean, that's going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy. Like that, $560 for Microsoft. Microsoft. What was it they say on Big Daddy? Microsoft is down $7 and throws the can on the floor. And so we've got free float shares, 7.3 billion. Man, I gotta break out the calculator for this. 7.43 billion, 7.43 times 560. That's 4.1 trillion. They just added like, what was it, 300 billion to their market cap. Crazy. So if we go on up to, what did I say, 700? Was it? Yeah, 690. Let's see. Clear. 7.43 times 690. That'd be $5 trillion. Holy sugar, man. That's $1 trillion right there. $1 trillion. To go from here to here. I don't know. Can it do it? And Meta was up, Microsoft up 9%. Meta's up like 11% or 12% when I looked at it last. So, yeah, Meta jumping up to the target. It's right up here. 793 was the target. Just a little bit shy, $20 shy. Yeah, I didn't like the way this was struggling. Odds were we're going to retrace, but boom, right up to the target. Like, I mean, it had the setup like this. That was the high probability setup. I didn't care for this price action. That's always a red flag warning to me. I would get the heck out of that. But there we go. 793 is the upside target. And we're still $22 shy. Yeah, 11%. Right there. Boom. 11% gain. Nice. I mean, that's smoking hot. So Apple coming out tonight. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Upward pressure, like 40 cents. 45 cents, 43 cents. Do they have any big, I mean, we all know they don't really have any big AI plan that they've been disclosing. They're not building data centers. They're not playing that game like Microsoft and Meta. They're just going to buy out somebody with all their massive cash piles at some point. I don't know. I mean, it'd be absolute crazy if Apple bought out OpenAI or something like that. That would just be nuts. But that'd probably make this thing go up, right? I don't know. Yeah, right now Apple just not motivating everybody. Amazon getting some upward momentum. We might actually, this has the setup to come right up in here. Got those earnings coming up. This up pretty darn good. So Apple showing weakness still, even with everything else getting dragged up. Google down a little bit pre-market. That'd be it's concerning to me there. See, Netflix cruising on down, probably gonna get down. I don't know. Can we make it? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, DJT is just a matter of time. I mean, it feels like to me. And we're up 3 cents today. Yeah, good work, Ted. Glad to see that you're coming out all right. All right. So that's earnings for today and tomorrow. I mean, we got other stuff, but I mean, whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of things on the calendar. We got most of the S&P 500 stuff happening this week, and if you wonder, like, how do you get an earnings calendar? Right here, just go to TradingView, click the little calendar button. It's on the right, bottom right over there. You can come over here and look at earnings. So we've got 4,619 earnings coming out today. Say, hey, can you run through a few of those? We already hit a couple, but 4,619. That's a few, right? Looks like MasterCard coming out today. Came out this morning, I guess. Yep. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom. How we doing? Nice little pop. That's I mentioned that when Visa was popping, that my MasterCard would probably pop upside. Visa's down now. They were popping, now they're dropping. Interesting. Another big one coming out today after the close. This looks like, so this correction right here, look at this baby. Right back into support. That'd be a support level. Run the low, run the high. We're at the 618. This is a mighty good spot to bounce from. Right here. I'm still long. Like, I am long this with leverage. MSTX. If this thing pops, it's a big if. That would be a logical next step right there. 576. 600 just above that. And we didn't do the retrace, so we haven't done this. Last time we hit that back in April. Showing strength. can we hold that support and go higher? It's a mighty good question, but I mean, all signs are pointing higher. Like I warn everybody because of I know that several of you are possibly over your ski tips on this baby, leveraged up. So I warn about the potential downside. I'm long. I mean, I am. Like, I have no shorts. I only have longs. I only have leverage longs. I personally am looking for upside. So this one should be an interesting one. I think it's good for the pop, honestly. We'll see. Now, it very well could do this. They took the STRC. So they issued this, or they issued more of this, or whatever of this. Their Series A. They sold more of this preferred stock and like 2.1 billion of it, and then rolled that into buying Bitcoin. Oh, looky. Look what just set up. I need to do some more checking on this, but we hold this right here. Oh, baby. Look at. So if this measured bounced in the right proportions, look at this. It's almost a double. I like that one. Earnings next Monday. This will be one to keep an eye on. Set me alert down and up and down here. Now, if we bust down through this, no bueno, not good. So, there. Good job, Sledge, my man. Crushing it, baby. You know where to send my cut. I'm just joking. Anyway, great work. As always, love to see it. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Man. It's hard to. I'm like so amazed at this move up. I guess we're just gonna go blow off top, straight up. Let's go. Craziness. So we're going going straight up, baby. The car, what's up, IWM? Sold my 190, bought back at 94. Not sure what you're referring to. Anyway, so let's look at, obviously, yes, ripping. We did this 1, 2, 3, and then absolutely ripped on Microsoft and Meta earnings last night. I don't know that we can get a repeat tonight, but that came up. Look at that. Beautiful. High, low, almost tagging the target right there. Probably going to retrace a little bit. Go for it. Golly. This one even crazier. Look at this move. Holy bananas. As I've said, NASDAQ keeps driving it higher. We tagged, look at that. We tagged the 1618 last night. Right there. Pulling back. We might pull back a bit. Retest the breakouts. We can go even higher. Russell, which is your IWM, hit the top. I've been warning about this potentially going down. Down, 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 down. I still have that 190 put out to September. 180 put, excuse me, 180 put. Looking for this to come down. Test that. If we get below it, this showing weakness in the sign of strength. This is why my hedge is here and not on these two. Everybody keeps asking me, why don't you just buy puts on S&P? What would you play for S&P? There's no weakness there. We keep going higher. All right, this is an important. If you don't understand this, don't bet against the strength. Bet against, if you're going to bet against the market, bet with the weakness. The weakness is likely to outperform when things turn. All right. The weakness is likely to drop out. The only IWM play I've done, I'm out to September. I did a 180, 150 spread. 180, 150, which is way down here. I bought this one, sold this one, closed this one out because it was almost full profit. I'm just riding this 180. It's out to September here. So we're over here. And if we get any kind of big drop here, opportunity. Now, September may not be enough time. We may grind this sucker on up through November. I mean, look at this climb rate we got going on. Could be up here as we get to September. It'd be absolutely crazy if we went on up here in October, November. It's possible. I mean, how many trillions of dollars would that be added to the market? I mean, this little blip right there, a few $100 billion. Oil, oh, look at that. Right to the test. Turn it back down. Break through the roadmap line. Test the support. Break through that. Down to 50. If you don't have a short on oil yet, now's the chance. If we get above here, it's a low. This right here is a low risk entry. Now, I was in it over here on the struggle, but this is your low risk entry right here. About as low as you can get. If we pop through, you close it. If you get in here, have all this downside right there. If you have no idea how to play short oil, just buy some shares of this. Yeah, it's down. I don't care. The downside setup's in place. Gold just churning, churning, churning. We retested the downtrend or uptrend of lows yesterday. Took a hit, rallying back a little bit. Yeah, this is choppy. I would be very cautious here for that next move. Bitcoin. Boy, that looked ugly yesterday, right into the close. But we held the 76 line. Like that. Dip. Reverse sharp V bottom reversal. That's bullish price action. 5 up. Looking for the retrace on this. Could go shallow, could go deep, could come back into the 17.4. We keep talking about that 17.4. Could come back into that 17,000 area, 117,000, 117. I don't just knock off the 100. Everything's 100. Yeah. 17.4. Could come back in that zone. If we find support there, turn higher. That would be a nested 1, 2, 1, 2. we can do that, really sets up the upside up there. That would probably set us up for this 125,000 zone right up here. Coming in August. Be a pretty nice little rip into next week. Ethereum just kind of grinding here. Not able to break higher so far. Looks like that was a big 1, 2, 3. Not sure it's complete yet. Watch for support right here. If we can hold that, turn higher, break above this, we'll probably go on up to that 4,000 to 4,100 area. Back to those highs right there. I'm still long with leverage and hold coins on Ethereum that are staked out. And I don't want to see it go down. I feel like I'm not doing you justice if I don't warn you when there's a giant downside setup. This so far, only 1, 2, 3 up. This is the big resistance right here. And that can still be bearish. Like we could stop right there at 48.70 and still plummet into the abyss. I'm taking trades apparently. This closed out another credit spread. NKD. Oh yeah. Held. We break back out. If here's that's the spot. We break above that prior high from last summer. Game on for global liquidity climbing higher. Prices are going to get crazy. Now, what could drive the NASDAQ up like that? This. Move like that, global liquidity. You're like, well, I just thought this was the Japanese stock market. I didn't think this is global liquidity. I watch this as an indicator of global liquidity. People love to trade this and then take that profit and roll it into higher returning assets. You know, I'm very, very, very simplifying the carry trade. Borrow in Japanese yen. So you got to plunk down stuff for collateral, feed it over into higher returning assets. Like the big tech and Bitcoin. The big driver. What could push us to crazy levels? This right here. Dollar coming on up. Coming up quick. Look at that. That thing removed my fib lines once again. So we're in the zone. We're in the bearish zone. In the bullish zone, not much further ahead. So if we stop here and turn down negative, probably going back down lower low. Lower than that low we made right back there in July, early July. And that's kind of it. Like, we're at the rubber meets the road point. Like, either we bust through, set up the bullish potential. If we touch up here, bullish potential, we may glance off, come back, find some support. We got to stay above this. That's like the line in the sand here. Can't go below that on a retrace. Push on through, retrace, hold, maybe even come down here, hold, and then go even higher. This will be the tell. Like, what happens here if we bust down through here, lower low. So this is the zone right here. On a retrace, gotta hold that if we're going higher. Apple still looking soft, coming into earnings today. That's why I got a hedge on that one out to December. If this thing, I mean, if you're up on it and you want to close it, mine was up like 30% yesterday. So That was crazy for something that's out to December. We talked about that like Monday. We're all the way out here with this debit spread. Looking for a dropout. I mean, for something that can pay I think it was 14x return, risk to return on risk. That's the potential. If you're up 0.3, to me it's like, I'll just keep holding it. So 0.3 out of 14, I'll just keep holding it. Nice upside potential. Now the risk is we do some kind of craziness like this and match some of our buddies down here like Meta and Microsoft, and it's like holy bananas, that spread's going to zero. Still out to December though. Still got time. Amazon, I got no strong feelings, but the way that everything is going, this is probably going to announce some kind of crazy good earnings and we'll pop. But ever since Bezos gave up control to whatever his name is, I mean, it's like the new CEO, you don't even remember who it is. Like, I mean, maybe you do off the top of your head, but I don't remember. I can't. If I met him on the street, I wouldn't know him. To me, when your CEO is forgettable and, they don't hype it up, like, it's kind of like a recipe for lackluster stock performance. You need a CEO that, as Jack Carter says, you need a jockey you can bet on. And I don't even I can't picture what the Amazon CEO looks like. It's kind of like, I don't really picture what the Microsoft CEO looks like. And Bill Gates is not in charge anymore, even though he's like the biggest stockholder. Bezos isn't really in charge anymore at Amazon, even though everybody says, it's his company. We know Tim Cook at Apple. We know Zuckerberg at Meta. And Google, hard to say on them. I mean, I can't keep track of who's in charge. Tesla, we all know that one. NVIDIA, he's pretty much out there. Got the company logo tattooed on his arm. Old Jensen. So be careful. We're up here in clear air. Can we make it to 212? That would be, I mean, that's $32 up. 24.9 billion per. 24.4 billion per dollar. That's another crazy one. $30 times 24.4. That'd be $700 billion to go to that target right there. $24.4 times like 212. Let's say 212. Yeah, 5. I put Microsoft and NVIDIA in the $5 trillion club. Almost tied. If this one ripped to here and Microsoft did its next move up to the next fib line, they'd both be worth, that'd be $10.2 trillion in two companies. 10.2 trillion. I mean, craziness. Netflix, like I said, watch out for the drop. All right, I go pull gainers. Things moving 2 hours more up. Wow. I guess lost part of the crowd today. Anyway, I go pull things moving 2 hours more up. Gainers list, 2 hours more down. Decliners list. And I'd be careful on that one. We could hit the target, 704. This is biotech. I am not a fan of trading biotech. Just unreliable. Carvana, look at that, baby, go. Wow. 444, next upside target. Don't trade against strength. Why I don't short things. Roblox. Dang. Right up to the extension. Trying to break out. All-time highs. 184. Big picture. This is like, it's not even going to have a roadmap line, but that's like a monthly bounce right there. 184. Things are like, this might be the craziest we ever see the market. This move is going to get really crazy. I've talked about that. That things are going to get really wild. They're getting really wild. If Nvidia and Microsoft go to 5 trillion, really sets up the big crazy. So there's TMDX. Held the roadmap line right there on that bounce. There's the high. Here's the low. Struggling to get through. We get back out of that red gap down zone. Could set it up for the bigger upside. So just the immediate bounce puts us new high for the year. 153, 160. Right there. App loving. Churn, 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 burn, burn, burn. If we break out over that high, here's the upside. 600. Core weave. Yeah, be careful. This is do some chop in here, but once it breaks down, probably coming down here. Not touching that. Good luck if you are. And Reddit, well, call it like you see it. That's what I see right now. Be careful. Earnings after the close. We're hitting a caution level. That's why that's sitting there. Caution, caution, caution. First move down was pretty violent. Next move up, 3 waves into, as I keep talking about, like yesterday, I went through this a bunch. First move up, retrace. Next move up, we stopped in this zone right there. That's a bearish continuation. That's the trend. Correction, bearish continuation, can take it back to the bottom. Now, the way everything's being crazy, this may just launch right up here. Like, it's a fine line. If we actually push through here, get up here, retrace again, that's bullish. And the way everything's been going, this might just pop up here. TFX, it's hard. It's hard. Like I keep saying, you know, everybody's like, what are you going to bet on for the short? It's not ripe yet. Like, we're not done being crazy. Like, it's going to keep going up is what everything's pointing to. TFX, medical specialty. Biotech, medical specialty, pharmaceuticals, healthcare. For the most part, I just don't trade them. Why? Because the charts that look like this, absolute garbage right there. Bulls, that's a 3x leverage. Be careful on leverage, please, for the love of your account. Even though FANGs, except for Apple, and are up near highs. This thing's up near highs, but not out here with Microsoft and Meta. You know, if N is Nvidia, we should be up here. If M, you know, there's no M in here, but F is Meta, should be up here. A, Apple, Amazon. If it's Amazon, we should be up here. If it's Apple, well, it's pulling it down. Let's see what they actually, you can actually look at what they got. Cool. Love it. Refresh. I guess it's not available. Looks like this data is not available. Cool. Mod. Wow. So this looks more like a fifth wave extension. Probably going to bring a retrace. We might get near, we're in the vicinity of the prior highs, so we might get right up into these, maybe even make a higher high, and then it would not surprise me one bit to retrace before we go even higher. But that all said, crazy can keep being crazy, and this can rip right out here to the targets. 163 conservative, 181 right there. Coin. If Bitcoin could turn itself around, this was a valid. Came back in the vicinity. Earnings after the close. Can they post some banger earnings? Set us up on a bigger path. That rejected right there. Came back. All the things we look for. That next upside move takes us right up here. 600. I'm still long Coinbase. I did book out some of the profit. So we're looking for 600. eBay. Man. Look at that. Right up in there. Retrace deep and pop. We'll get down to some things that are APLDs down the list here. Long list today. Like there were like 90 something gainers. Man, look at that eBay. I thought we might go higher. I mean, the risk of a retrace was high, but eBay's resurrecting itself. Look at this. Back from the dead. New all-time high. Crazy. Snow. Let's go. Look at this target in the... I'm really gunning for 300 at the moment. But I may hold on to this share forever because the upside potential on this is just unbelievable. So you kind of have to understand the technology behind this company. I've explained it a few times to understand why I believe in the upside potential here. Basically, they take, your average data center, you can only utilize like 25% of the hardware. Most, that 75% of the time it's just sitting there, just idle, not really like. You look at a giant building, all those computers, all that power, 75% of the time, it's not producing any meaningful advance. Snowflake, though, with their software, allows you to take that 25 to 30% utilization, and without buying any hardware, just buying Snowflake software, you can take that up to 75 to 90% utilization without buying anything other than the software. That's as the data center narrative is ramping up, this is my darling that I think is going to outperform. Nobody's talking about it, but it's sitting in the background. MSFU, 2X on Microsoft, GE Veranova. Yep, climbing the ladder, 929 next upside. Facebook long, levers long. Now notice Facebook breaking out, but this lower high. That's a cautionary tail on leverage right there. ABBV. Yeah, that's a bad pattern. Not fond of that right there. And the face is so much strength. Watch out. This is pharmaceutical. Meta U. 2X leverage on Meta. Also lower high. Caution. CHRW. The stock has gone nowhere for a long time. I would not mess with that. MDB. It needs a final flush. Now, we could come all the way up here and retest and still do the final flush, but it still needs a final flush. If we were to break through the resistance, we could go on to targets. I have upside targets, but it's not making me feel super good right now on this stock chart. I have no exposure to it, and it looks like it wants to go on down. We didn't come down quite far enough to be complete. We need one more dive in here. Q's rocking it. There's the target. Quite possible we get to it. 600, 620. BIIB. Down, down, down. MSTR we already hit on. Another leverage. Oracle going on up. 270. SEMO. Silicone Motion. That's a lot of chop. I just stay out of this. Stay out of that. CLS. When you got plenty of things, I'm a trend pullback continuation trader, so I'm looking for things that are trending, pulling back, and continuing. And when it's not doing that, I'm not really interested. Like 252 upside, SPXL, 3x leverage. How's my buddy SPYU? Oh, still lackluster. The leverage ate this one. This is a 4x leverage right here. Currently, the only one I have memorized that I know of is 4x leverage right there on the S&P. If you think the S&P is ripping, there you go. But look at this. This was the high back here in December. This looks like the NASDAQ chart, except it's not breaking higher. It's not up here. It's down here. Can it perform? I don't know. MAS, Masco. The high, here's the low. Coming up into resistance. If we get through it, we set up the upside, 92. If we don't, first move down, retrace, second move down. Might take us down in the 45 to 50 area in this prior low. ETHU, got a little bit more to go on the upside. Ethereum can keep its crap together. TECL, 3x bull, 135. AMBQ, yeah, semiconductors, not enough anything to talk about. Rigetti, just chopping around on the 2x leverage. AGCO. I really don't like that chart, so that's a downtrend. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, low. Even that's a lower high still. Till we can break on through. That's not even tradable to me. Like WDC. Let's see. Western Digital breaking out. Look at this big picture. We were in this down channel. We're actually breaking out. We're on the fib. Highest high, lowest low. Setting up 109 to 130 on the target right there. CVS. This is the one I did the market roadmap on. Like when I did market roadmap all the way back in 2021 when I was a brand new guru. I use this as the example. And here we are. First move down, retrace, second move down. And that held a higher low. Maybe we can resurrect this one. Low, the high, the low. So here's the zones. That's bearish continuation. bullish continuation. So if we can break out a new yearly high, new this year highs, look, things are looking up for CVS. Let's see, WBA still not looking. Wow, that stock died. Look at that. Look at the volatility, and then just dead. Wow. XLK, rock and roll, baby. Look at that. 266. 299 next upside. Can we do, like, if Microsoft and Nvidia go to 5 trillion, there you go. That would be nuts. A-Lab. 173. MSC. Wow, look at that. American Superconductor. 69 next upside target. It's just a monster move right there. CG. Yeah, every time I go to Target, it's busy. CVS runs the Target pharmacies. It's always busy at Target. We break out 393 right there. Watch out though. It's been resistance 3 times, so we can pull back again. AMD, we're about to confirm the breakout. Like I said, crazy can just keep getting crazier. We're about to confirm that this is ready to go on up here. 250 to 300. GLD. Of course, right when everything confirms, that's when we'll get that big pullback. GLD looks like we're coming back to the roadmap line. SMCX. 2X on SMCI. AEM. Watch for the retrace. Leverage Qs. Almost to new highs. Almost time to step off of that one. QQQU. 2X on Magnificent 7. Oh, wow. I didn't even know this existed. That's, even though most of Mag 7s are at new highs, this is lower high. Be careful. There you go. 2X leverage on CoreWeave. CWVX. If you think that thing's ripping, here's your opportunity. I would be very careful. QLD. Now that leverage QQQ is performing. Look at that. Slightly lagging where QQQ is, but that one's performing. TQQQ, not performing. QLD, where it's at right here. ProShares. ProShares does a good job. And funny, this is Ultra Pro. Must be 3X leverage. It's also ProShares. This is 2X leverage, I guess. QQQM. Invesco. Invesco's version of the QQQ. Wow. Unbelievable move. 241, 276. Net. Cloudflare. 212 and 267 above that. ANET. Looks like we're going for 150. GRT. Looks like we're going for 181. Cigna. Looks like we're going for 250. SANM. Wow. 140 next upside. Watch out for the retrace. That's all I can see. Like, once they get past the high probability point, I usually bail and go look for better opportunities. 32. Potential on that one if we can pop it out. CRDO. 142 next upside. VST. 224, 247. ETHT. And watch out for 150. Logi. Coming back down to the roadmap line. Then we'll see what happens. It's potentially bullish, but short term, need this. This is potentially 5 up. Need this retrace, possibly down to 84, and then we can look at the next move. Connell, 2x leverage on coin. If you think coin's gonna pop on earnings, this might be a way to play. You can buy 1 share at 53 bucks. Sell it out at 115 if we get there. This is leveraged, and while coin hit a higher high, Connell did not. UPRO, Ultra, S&P, just scratching at the highs, not pushed out yet. Upside target 102, 104. Leverage stuff. Be careful on leverage. As always, APPX, 2x on AAPL. If you think that AAPL is going out to the targets, this is a way to play for 48 bucks a share with 2x leverage. Palladium, tag that target, retracing, probably going to find support down around 97 to 100 area. APLD, here you go. What happened? We tagged the target and retraced. Tag the target, retraced. 1, 2, 3 up. Watch for if we stick the close right here, this is probably coming on out to 16, 17. Dell, don't bet against the strength. Dell, if we can get through this gap down, target's up here, 230. Remember, they sell more servers and GPUs than SMCI. They just not the darling hype. LEU, watch out for that one to retrace. Amazon 2x leverage. If you think that was popping tonight, here's a way to play for 41 bucks a share. COHR. Might retrace, but it's set up for the targets 130, 145. INDV. Pharmaceutical, biotech pharma, yeah. Watch out for resistance. Might go up to 31. AMUU, 2x on AMD. If you believe that one's ripping out to 250, pick it up for $54 a share. RSI, already at target. 19 above that, 23 above that. Mags. $62 above that. ALCH. This looks like a first move down, retrace. Absolutely beautiful correction. Put it down here around 10. NGU. Fang with 3x leverage. And they got rid of all the past history on that one. AMZZ, 2x on Amazon. PBM. Reverse splits. Price action under the roadmap line. Absolute garbage. Dumpster fire all the way right here. Don't touch it. That one, I mean, oh. Even though it's on the poppers list, look at that garbage. Beat down with entertainment. Like, traditional TV is in the garbage, I guess. Sprouts Farmers Market. Never been to one of these. Here they're pretty cool. Look at all these tops right here. Top, 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 lower high. That's looking like weakness. We might get the bigger retrace. IGM. iShares Technology. That, look at that rip right there. Holy fudge muffins. 120, 134 above that. All right, stuff that was going down this morning. Align, getting whacked. Is that the retainers or whatever? Yeah, orthodontic, yeah. Like Invisaligns or something like that. KLAC 963. Race getting a wow. Talk about coming back to the roadmap line. Dang. Here's the high, here's the low. Got the gap down, so that's resistance 527, 537, and we might go back to the. Yeah, this could be complete. Like this, look at the monster run on this thing. Might be time for a bigger correction. Be careful. Still bullish until we break down below. We're down below the daily roadmap line. Three days down here at 407. We get below that though. A weekly is on down here at 360. And then the monthly, I don't even know if it has enough candles. No. Not enough candles for a monthly, but it's probably going to be right down here around 270. SPSC. Continuation lower. Here's the low, here's the high. Didn't hit the roadmap line, but down to target on the bottom. Shake Shack. Oh, there's your roadmap retrace. Tried to break out. Coming back for support. If we can hold it. Turn back higher. Target's up here. 152. Yeah, 152. So we need to see that gap fill and go on up. And then possibly 165. ASML. Coming on down. Look at that, baby. Almost to the target. I told you we weren't like that, probably, wasn't it? See what happens here. I don't even know who I read it from. Somebody put out this giant article. I got my email. I was just like, I flipping through. It was like this giant analysis on ASML and how their brand new lithography machines do not outperform the prior generation. So there's no incentive for anybody to buy them. TSMC is doing 2 nanometer process with last generation machines. They did a few tweaks and the engineers figured out how to do 2 nanometer lithography without buying the new machines from ASML that are supposed to make it easy. And apparently the people that have bought the new system are still using the old system to get 2 nanometer lithography. So the new system doesn't perform and doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And that's part of the narrative here on this corrective, is that there's no reason for anybody to buy the new system because it doesn't improve the performance. And there's a giant question is whether we can go below 1 nanometer because we're getting to be the size of atoms on the gates for silicone. We're reaching the physical limits of traditional silicone. This will be interesting. ARM. Thanks, Car. Support right there at ARM. Still holding that this is weak. Lower high, lower high. There's a very real possibility. Like, look at this. So much stuff ramping up, and ARM is just churning here. Very real possibility that this breaks down and comes all the way down here. Lily turning itself around. It's just churning in here. We've got resistance. We've got support. We've already done the ABC correction, but this hasn't been able to build anything bullish, so that may be indicative that we're going to make another lower low. Build our first source. Bounced off the roadmap line, as I warned about builders not being strong. Caution is advised on home builders and building supplies. Lowe's and Home Depot are the exception. AMAT. Support there. Possible to turn this higher. If we do 280. If we break down, watch for a lower low. 118. It's a big, wide range right there. ATI. Coming on back. Roadmap line supports. 270. QCOM. Churn. As I've said for months now, resistance 180, support, basic support 136, line in the sand support down here where we touched 120, CFLT. As long as we're in between, there's no trend on QCOM. CFLT pushing lower. That might be complete on the correction, but it looks like it wants to do a flush down to the low 10s. Holy man. Glad I got out of this. Had the bullish potential back here and screwed it up. And then looking for support right here. If we don't get that, we're coming down to a new low at 43. LRCX probably hunting a retrace of the roadmap line. Potential to bust out right there. 124. Paramount Global. Nope. Not touching it. Delta Dog. Looking for a breakout through this downtrend. Well, two highs with a lower high. That's a downtrend of highs. So major resistance right there. If we get through it, targets up here. If we come up and struggle to get up there and don't bust through, deep retrace, possibly even lower low. And that is a massive range there. 100 points. Spooks. Super X AI. Never even heard of this. New IPO in June, and crazy keeps being crazier. UNH, go baby go. Go baby go. Oh my gosh. So close. This is almost complete. Love to see it. DEO. Well, that got the lower low. As briefed. There you go. Still go lower, 96, possibly even 91. That was the bounce off the roadmap line as briefed. That probably going lower low. IP coming back for the roadmap line. If we can hold support and bounce, break through some lower highs. 63 on the upside. FAS still a big term, big picture, super bullish pattern. 200-300 right now. Possible to go to 1,000 eventually. SNY garbage. Just choppy garbage. Chop, 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 chop. No trend. STZ, still hunting a bottom. MKSI, downtrend of highs. Still hunting a breakout. RMG, 2x leverage on ARM. Watch out for the flush. DXCM. Maybe that was the bottom, but maybe we need one more. That does not look particularly strong yet. DPST. Wow, regional banks suffering. Remember, regional banks have the biggest risk for commercial real estate blowing out. This one may flush while FAS rocks and rolls. Backs, complete garbage. MU hunting for a possible roadmap bounce. Although if we can hold support right where we are, break back up through the 224 level, this is probably rocking and rolling out to 180. 2x on Robinhood. When is Hood? Hood reported earnings last night. Didn't budge. That's what I thought. We're at resistance. Watch for the retrace. I don't expect that to perform anymore. BX, Blackstone. Yeah, watch for a retrace on that one. BLK. And watch for a retrace here too. Possible to go up to 1100, but all right. And then I saw somebody ask for something. Bearish on Costco. Yes, I have a short on Costco. And let's see, Palto PNW. Wasn't on the list at all today, but probably going down. As I mentioned, I do that on Tuesday. Talked about the potential for this to come back to the bottom. It triple top kind of. And that looks like a head and shoulders. Although higher high on that one, so. Could see a move down. You can find support down here, but not super strong. Yeah, 167 could be support. But yeah. So setups for today, for those you left. Penumbra. Clear this off. Yeah, I don't even know why oh, I see why. That little high is what it picked up for 272 potential upside. Thought I fixed this. Apparently I did not. Please save that. And not great statistics. Come on now. Picked up that high, this low, that entry, 54 targets, 7 trades, 71. Statistics are meaningless. Peloton. Well, this one picked up a little bitty bounce also right here. $8. Low price stuff. May not work. Caution. No prior history of working out. Wingstop. Out of all these, this is the horse I would consider betting on. Although statistics look horrible. This has a bullish potential. $3.99 would be the targets. Not a big upside. $20 or so. 20, 30, 20, $30. And that's the list. Bias for the day. We're cruising, baby. Dang. Wow. Let's see what we got. Dang, hit that target. We got this high, we got this low. And we already hit the target, so watch for retrace. We might see some softness today despite this crazy breakout. And then set it up for, we could just retest the highs and then push it on up, but so support here, support down here. 64.55 next upside. If we're going up, major support here at that low from yesterday. If we get below that, we're definitely going down something more sinister, maybe down to like a 4 hour possibly, which is all the way down here, 6,000. That'd be we'll set an alert there. If we get below that, it's a big indicator that this is going to happen. And that, of course, throughout time, this keeps climbing as long as we keep going up. We are now at how many days above the 20-day moving average? I took it off. Cool. Indicator moving average. Simple. Set this to 20. Not 920. 20. And so 67 days? Golly, it's crazy. And we're at 67 days above the 20-day moving average. One of these days is going to be the last, but we can go on to set an all-time high. All-time high would be 102, I think it is. So we'd be out here in September. That's why we could continue this party out here, set a new all-time record high for days above the 20-day moving average. It's nuts, but we can keep being nuts here. I mean, things can keep being stupid. That's why you don't bet against the strength. Don't bet against the strength. Looking at my potentially bullish list. Seeing Wingstop's on there. That's I'd probably take a bet on that one. Siri. AAPLD. It's on the potentially bullish list there, David. And Wind's breaking out, but Mountain looks horrible. Lulu going for it. Come on. 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 No, you want to do it. I'm really bullish on this if we get this correction. CC coming back for the retrace. Support zone right in here. And then potential upside. Struggling to get through. Delta needs that correction. Docu. I guess I'm going to book out the calls. See what happens. WBD. This one needs to get all the way up to 21 and confirm that this is bullish. Rocket Lab needs a retrace. Celsius needs a retrace. UAL needs a retrace. Nike. I want to see that retrace and hold the roadmap line. That's why I got my alert there. Merck set for the pop up to 96. PFE. So I was waiting for the retrace and I didn't have any capital available to sell here. This might be good for the pop. If we get below this though, it's danger for going lower. So unclear a little bit. Pfizer. Oh yes, baby. Yes. This is what I'm looking for. Beautiful retrace. If we can get down this 22 level and hold, turn back higher. 1, 2, 3. This is the stuff. That could find support right where we are. Doesn't have to come all the way down here. So watching for that to get onto the upside of this roadmap line and do a retrace there. And then that's the bullish reversal I'm waiting on. DJT still being soft, still higher lows so far. We may, based on this though, it may need one little spike down here before we can come up here. And that's the major resistance at this point. Nothing up here is given until we can get above that. Chewy. Look at that. Come on, baby. Build a reversal. Right off support. Come back up here. That's what I want to see. Kava. I need to see this through the roadmap line. Crocs being soft. All right. Thanks for hanging with me, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up there. I'll be back again. Same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow morning, 9:15. We'll do it all over again. Hunt for opportunities. Be careful out there. The account you save may be your own. Always have a plan because it's not being wrong that costs you big money. It's staying wrong and doubling down, and you can kill yourself that way. It's your account. Nobody's watching out for you more than you. Be careful.